Welcome back to CinemaCult. I'm Chris.
I'm Matt.
I'm Honto.
And I'm Chris. And this month we are doing our summer break movies. We decided summer break is the title, and it's all going to be movies that are revolved around. There's no hidden agenda.
Characters are clearly on their summer break.
And we have started off with, is it 1993's? Yes, 1993's The Sandlot.
Really just asked me that.
Starring James Earl Jones. We've all seen this, a numerous amount of times, I'm assuming.
I've seen it a numerous amount of times.
Okay. We'll get to it. Let's start off with the game that we play. The game is
piece of paper, prop comedy. It's begun.
What is this? What does this have on Rotten Tomatoes? Honto, ask you.
I already know it.
Matt, you know. Okay.
71.
Thank you for your honesty. It is a 63%.
Oh. Okay.
And then
kind of low, right?
Yeah, it feels low.
Yeah, it feels low for a movie like this.
We'll get there. How much did this movie cost to make? Or no, I'm sorry, what was the budget? Matt, we'll start off with you. Budget for Sandlot, 1993.
$4 million.
Honto.
$2 million.
$7 million.
Really?
Which is kind of high, right?
I can actually see that being like a period piece type deal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They invest in a lot of the cars and the outfits, and I could see that.
Well, you got like the Sandlot, and I feel like that's the only set. But then again, I'll give you what Honta's saying, the neighborhood.
Yeah.
The stuff by the drugstore.
Denis Leary.
And the world's biggest dog in that movie. They also had to hire that thing for that.
That's true.
So you're telling me the budget went straight to the dog and Denis Leary? Is that what we're getting?
Yes.
Yeah.
It was 50-50.
Trivia.
How much? This is only domestic. It did not get an international release. So how much did this movie make domestically, aka worldwide? Honto, we'll start off with you.
Domestic, 13 million.
Okay. Matt,
30.
32.
Oh wow!
So,
all right.
A little over 4 times the budget. So that would say this is a hit. Now, for a bonus question, what does the Sandlot 2 have on Rotten Tomatoes?
Yeah.
Matt, we'll start off with you.
17%.
Honto.
20%.
40%.
40%.
So it's like close enough that I'm like, I kind of want to check it out. So
it's
just high enough.
So it's like a little under 20% less than the original.
Yeah.
It's watchable.
I'm interested.
And just slightly worse than Sandlot, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would say
that
that was better than I thought it was going to be.
Yeah.
What about Air Bud?
No, are we playing this game where I just look up all these movies?
Yeah, Air Bud. Look up Air Bud. I want to know.
And all the sequels. Every movie that has a sequel, look it up.
Yeah.
Well, no, we should do an episode where we just sit here and we just guess movie Rotten Tomatoes. Chris, pull up that one. I'm like, how about this?
And then I'll cover the cast and crew for each of those movies
very quickly.
Oh, and we'll make a drinking game out of it. Whoever loses has to drink.
Oh, wow!
Everybody's a winner.
So
everybody's a winner.
Since Chris is the host, he's just not drinking at all.
No, we'll take that. We'll
That's
share
true.
the duty. Otherwise, I'm pretty sure I'd be drunk the whole episode. Not again.
For a bonus question, what did 1997's Air Bud, what does it have on Rotten Tomatoes? Matt, I'll start off with you.
57%.
63%.
45%.
Oh, wow.
And then for a bonus question, since it's right here on the same page, what does Charles Grodin's Beethoven have on Rotten Tomatoes?
Oh, wow.
Oh, man, 65%.
R.I.P. Charles Grodin, by the way, but 63.
30%.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I was actually kind of surprised. And for a bonus question, how much does Agent Cody Banks have? How much does it have on Rotten Tomatoes?
Are these
27%.
22%.
38%. So
wow.
I have nothing to add to that. That's all it is. I'm not going to go down that rabbit hole.
Okay, but we've talked about this before with Rotten Tomato reviews. Like, how many reviews are there for each of those movies? And
has it aged like a fine wine yet? Like the time to garnish all the reviews and everything?
Yeah.
But usually, reviews. I feel like if it's over 100 reviews, like roughly, then I feel like it's gotten enough to have like a solid score. You know what I mean?
I agree with
Yeah,
that. I
think
agree with
that's-
that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think that's doable.
Yeah.
Speaking of, did you hear about Paddington 2?
Yeah, it lost its number one spot because
Yeah.
one negative review.
Yeah. So it had 100%. Now it's at 99. It was the best
Who's-
reviewed movie. Best
That
reviewed
movie's-
movie of all time.
Don't knock until you watch it. That movie.
Oh, I know. I heard it's
that movie's.
amazing.
Oh yeah, I heard it's
that
great.
movie's
But
excellent.
who's
Yeah,
the
I heard
one
it's-
asshole who was like, "I'm gonna give this movie a bad review"? He's like, "It's time to knock it off the pedestal," you know?
Well, do you remember the guy who Toy Story 3 had a perfect score and then it got one negative review? And
Same guy.
I think it was the same guy because it was the same guy. Everything he watched had a negative review. So I don't know if he's doing it out of spite or what it is, but
He's a villain.
Whatever.
Power of the internet.
so
Um,
Sandlot, 1993. Oh, do you have something?
I was going to add one thing real quick since
Yeah.
we were talking about the Sandlot sequel briefly. Did you know that there's a third Sandlot movie and apparently involves time travel?
Well, apparently I need to look up this Rotten Tomatoes score. So thank you for saying that. No, that's insane. I've never heard of
And it
this.
stars Luke Perry as the main character, but he's only in it for the beginning because he time travels and turns into a kid. Apparently,
Really?
This sounds great.
I looked at the plot but didn't look up the Rotten Tomatoes, so we can still play that game.
Okay, well,
Can
here
we
we
talk
go.
about how there's like 5 Christmas story movies?
Oh yeah. I think there's
We've
I thought it was
talked
only
about this before.
3. I thought.
It's a weird number. I think it's a high number, but some of them are television movies and some of them are actual theater releases, but they all center around Ralphie in some way.
Oh, okay. Wait, are you thinking of
Yeah.
the Uncle Eddie movies from Christmas Vacation?
No, how many are there of those?
I think there's an obnoxious amount of those movies.
Really?
Yeah.
I want to go on Rotten Tomatoes so bad and look these up, but there's so many movies coming at me. I'm like, All right. So the Sandlot 3 from 2007. What does it have on Rotten Tomatoes? Honto,
14%.
Matt,
22%.
52%.
Whoa! It's the second best Sandlot movie.
What?
Yeah, we'll see how many reviews it's at because I feel like that's
It's
like
probably
a
got
true
like
test.
1,000 reviews. It's got more than Sandlot.
Yeah, the guy who got that one negative Paddington 2 reviews, he's like, "Oh yeah, we're bumping this one up."
Oh yeah, this
there."
movie's excellent. What are you talking about?
Okay,
Better than
All right.
Paddington 2.
I will say when I pulled up the reviews for
The
it,
one review.
it says all critic reviews 3. So it had 1 positive review and 2 negative reviews, making it a 52%.
Wait, that math doesn't quite.
It does not add up.
How are they?
Wow.
How's what?
I don't understand. Oh, okay. I'm sorry. So that was the audience score. Was
Okay.
52%. It has no tomato score.
I would say yeah, because I
Oh.
don't think I think that movie is like a direct to DVD or VOD.
Well, I think the second
Tomato-less.
one was 2. So wonder if my readings were wrong on the Sandlot 2.
so,
And if I
so
was
we got to start the game all over then.
Hold on,
Wow,
let
so
me
we
see.
got like 10 movies to go through.
What did Agent Cody Bent?
Oh boy.
No, Sandlot 2 has an actual 40% Rotten Tomatoes
Okay.
with an
Okay.
audience score of 41. So
Okay.
All right.
That makes sense.
Cast and crew of Sandlot. Go ahead, Hanzo.
Directed
Yeah, it's
by
time.
David Mickey Evans, known, I guess he was uncredited for Radio Flyer. And
Dude,
then
I
he
get total Radio Flyer vibes from this movie.
Yeah, I've actually-
That's awesome. He's never mind.
It was
I mean, I
tight.
glanced right over that.
Radio
You
Flyer
said Todio.
or Todio Flyer.
That was golden, dude. Oh, that's like the best word mess up we've had on
Todio
here in
Flyer.
months. And Chris tried to
Todio,
like
that's fine.
run over it really quick. Like,
And then
All right,
he
sorry.
directed a Sinbad movie called First Kid that I've seen a bunch of times.
Yeah.
He returned for Sandlot 2, and he is returning for a Untitled Sandlot prequel. This guy is totally relying on the success because he also provided the narration in Sandlot 2. This guy's really relying on this franchise.
Hey, it's his baby.
well, didn't he do it in the
going-
first movie too?
I don't think so.
I thought he did a narration for the first
No, you're
first
thinking of
movie as
Richard
well.
Dreyfuss. Richard Dreyfuss did the narration.
Dude, I was getting the Stand By Me vibe from this movie with the
Right?
intro. Yeah, dude.
Yeah, I actually thought it was Richard Dreyfuss.
Uncredited, he did do the narration.
Did he? Okay, I read that as trivia, so I didn't
Yeah.
know if
Didn't want to debunk your one
if I
trivia
was
for
wrong.
this episode.
yeah.
But you said he directed Radio Flyer?
Yeah, it said uncredited though, so I don't know
Because
who was.
that's a Richard Donner movie.
Oh, I wonder if it's one of the situations where he got either sacked midway through or ghost directed in place of Richard
Interesting.
Donner.
Oh no,
But,
interesting.
I was surprised because this guy also wrote the screenplay for a horror movie from the 80s called Open House. It's a movie I saw like once and it scared the hell out of me.
About the real estate agent, like they stay in the house.
What?
Is it about? Oh man, is this not it?
Good
I'm gonna keep
luck.
going.
Good
Is
luck.
it about? Is it about an open house and then someone actually like an open house, like real estate wise,
Yeah.
and then someone like stays inside the house?
Oh, that might be it. Yeah, yeah. It's like a slasher movie.
Yeah. Okay, that's what I
Yeah.
thought.
I think that might be it though.
Okay,
I was
that's what
like
thinking
really
too.
excited about this because I wasn't sure if you're gonna save it. And you did. So
You know,
okay.
that's one of those movies like you just brought it up in that list. What was it, First Kid?
Yeah, First Kid.
Where it's like I think I've seen that movie and
You've seen
I
First
don't-
Kid?
I don't know. I can't
Got,
remember.
Oh man, I was
Zachary-
thinking of Blank Check.
yeah.
got Zachary Ty Bryan as like the school bully, and then
Yeah.
at one point Sinbad has like a paper towel cardboard, and he spits a thing and it sticks to his face.
Like a spit wad.
Yeah,
I remember it was
spitwad.
in the preview, and like it's like a huge spit
It's like-
wad, and he really gets hit by this
Yeah,
giant spit wad.
But that's what I mean. Like I can't remember if I saw the preview and I'm just remembering stuff from the preview.
Sure.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like
Yeah,
and you were talking about this open house movie, and I'm like, have I seen this movie?
I've never seen it.
I haven't seen it all the way through. I just remember as a kid, I've always talked about my grandparents not having any like sort of filter as far as stuff I could rent. But this is one of the movies that I rented as a kid, and I couldn't make it through. I think like the first 10 minutes or something because I was like,
Okay.
a
Speaking
kid.
of filter, you want to hear my trivia for this really quick? I don't know how real this is. It might have been brought up in an interview, but during the making of this movie, a good chunk of the kids that were in the Sandlot crew snuck into a showing of Basic Instinct in theater.
wow,
That's funny.
Yeah, can you imagine like seeing that at that young of an age, and you're like, dude, have you guys watched that movie recently?
No, I have not. You talked about it though when we did a. I wonder if it was when we watched RoboCop because it's Paul Verhoeven, right?
Yeah, it's a good movie. But
Yeah, I
like the
heard
sex
it's good.
scenes are like, and the sex scenes are pretty
Graphic.
explicit. Yes,
Yeah.
graphic.
Yeah.
So I can't imagine like 5 kids from the Sandlot crew sneaking in. And they're like,
I just imagine the narrator, the director is just over like a narration. He's like, a lot of us grew up that day when we saw it.
the biggest pickle we've ever got ourselves into.
Was it Michael Douglas? Michael Douglas, the biggest pickle.
The biggest pickle I've ever seen on screen. Is that what you were saying?
Yeah.
Okay. Oh,
Okay,
that's great.
continuing on. We got, hey, Chuckles, you good?
Oh, good.
Tom Guiry as Scotty Smalls, Mystic River, Black Hawk Down, and then we just talked about this the other day, but Brawl in Cell Block 99. And then we
He
have
is in Mystic River. I just watched that
Yeah.
like a week ago. Yeah.
yeah. and
Okay,
I
so
forgot that
really-
he's in. What's that? Go ahead.
Okay, really quick. When you go down this list, since they're kids,
Yeah,
I can't like. Which kid are we talking about?
dude, I'm confused too.
I know.
Wait,
'cause,
you just
like-
said Smalls, right?
It's Scotty, so it's the main character.
Yeah.
Okay.
He was an apt
Alright.
pupil, wasn't he?
I didn't. I only tried to pick 2 or 3, so that's not one of the
You're
ones
good.
I picked.
I didn't look it up. For some reason I thought he was an apt pupil.
I'll confirm as we move on.
Okay.
I'm actually serious. I'll try to confirm.
Oh, you're good. You keep talking. I'll pull it up. You're good.
Mike Vitar as Benny.
Okay.
He's probably best known for D2 and D3, The Mighty Ducks.
That
And then-
is him. Wow, that just
Yeah.
blew my mind. Yeah, I totally forgot he was in this.
Yeah, and then Matt, you appreciate this because he's in some movie called Diplomatic Immunity. And
Diplomatic Immunity.
There you go.
There you go, dude. Lethal Weapon 2.
It's
That's
just
pretty good.
Yeah, it's weird. I don't know. It's just a weird movie. I don't know. I didn't look anything about it, but I appreciate it.
Okay, so to cut you off, so I looked it up. So the kid that's in Apt Pupil,
yeah,
completely different kid. He was the kid in The Client.
Brad
Renfro? Yeah. I was totally getting mixed up. And he was also
it was him. Okay.
That's why I thought it was. So yeah, that was
Brad Renfro was
confusing.
he was like a child actor. He passed away not too long ago, but
that's what I thought. Yeah.
He was in I think Tom and Huck, maybe.
Tom and Huck. Yeah.
And then for maybe Wild America or something.
Good movie.
Patrick Renna as Ham, son-in-law, the Big Green. Then we have Chauncey Leopardi as Squints. He was in Casper, Father of the Bride, and then he returns for that third Sandlot movie, the time travel one.
Who is he in Casper?
I don't know. I feel like I can picture him though, but I just don't. I can't. It's been
right.
So
That's how I kind of feel too.
Yeah, I can't. I don't know who he would have been in Casper because there's not that many kids in that movie.
There is a school dance right at the mansion at the end. Maybe he's part of the.
Oh yeah, there is.
Is he a bully or something? Is he a bully?
I don't know.
I feel like he's a kid that talks massive amounts of crap to Christina Ricci, and then he gets scared off by the ghosts, the three.
Oh yeah, you might. We should watch. Honestly, this sounds weird, but we should watch that for the podcast. That's an interesting.
I'm actually down to watch that.
I think that's a great movie. I watched it a few years ago. Really held up.
Did you? Okay, because it's kind of it's more of a serious kids movie, and
I was gonna say it gets kind of depressing by the end. I feel like
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, continuing on. Well, Chris, you just watched it, but he was in Freaks and Geeks. I actually don't recall who he was, but I don't know if you remember seeing a kid.
We're talking about the guy with the glasses, right?
Yeah, Squints.
Yeah. If he was in it, it's
probably a background.
Briefly. Yeah.
We got Brandon Quinton.
No, oh my God, no. He's in it a lot. I'm sorry. He's the bully on Freaks and Geeks.
Oh,
yeah.
Weird.
He terrorizes the kids in that show.
Oh yeah, I remember. Yeah,
yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I remember this now. Brandon Quinton Adams as Kenny DeNunez. Previous episode, The People Under the Stairs, and a horror movie called The Ghost in the Machine, which I saw a long time ago.
Oh, a little reunion between Karen Allen and yeah.
Nice.
Both.
Nice connection.
Man, look at you guys. Ghost of the Machine's been brought up on this podcast 3 times. Probably the most ever been brought up since that movie's been made.
So you said it 3 times, now we got to cover it. It's kind of rules. Shane Obedzinski as Tommy Timmons. He's one of the brothers. My Girl and Matinee. Then we got Victor DiMattia as Timmy Timmons. Cool as Ice. The Ice was it Vanilla Ice movie?
Oh yeah.
Turner and Hooch. Karen Allen as Mom, Raiders of the Lost Ark, Animal House, Starman, and Ghost in the Machine. Yeah.
Nice.
Denis Leary as Bill, Rescue Me, The Wrath, and Judgment Night. Marley Shelton.
Demolition Man.
Yeah.
Sorry. That's one I can't believe we haven't done on here yet. I feel like we have so much we could say.
Honestly, Judgment Night is one of those ones I'm surprised we haven't covered.
Dude, Judgment Night scared
the
crap out of me. I'll just talk about how many movies scared me as a kid. Judgment Night was definitely one of them.
Clearly everything.
dude, he's crazy in that movie.
Every time when you're a kid and you watch something but you close your ears, you're like,
when something you don't cover your eyes, you cover your ears.
Yeah, you close your ears and you keep watching because it's the idea of hearing it is more real than seeing it. So you're
So you do that when Jeremy Piven gets pushed off that roof.
Yeah, right. He's making a mistake. He's not as good as he thinks he is.
Marla Shelton as Wendy, Grindhouse, Bubble Boy, and then Scream 4. And then she's actually returning for a upcoming Scream sequel. We got Art LaFleur as Babe Ruth in The Dream, Cobra, The Blob, a previously unreleased episode, which I think we should revisit sometime.
Oh yeah, he is in The Blob.
I think he's the dad, isn't he?
That's the sheriff. Yeah.
Sheriff or
No, he's not the sheriff. He's just what's her name's dad. Yeah, remember because he's in that pharmacy and the guy walks in, he buys condoms, and then when he sees him show up and he's like ribbed. You know what I'm talking about?
I remember. Yeah.
I do. Yeah.
I don't know if you got this, but the guy who plays the older Benny.
Yeah.
You do? You're gonna get to it?
You mean Smalls, right?
No, the older Benny. At the end of the movie.
I looked up older Benny. He wasn't really in anything.
Yeah, he's the brother of the younger Benny in this movie. They're both brothers.
Oh,
cool.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
cool.
That's pretty neat.
I'm
Yeah.
dumb.
Matt, you're doing good on trivia today.
Yeah, great job.
Yeah.
James Earl Jones as Mr. Myrtle. This is his feature film debut. Did nothing else after this. Star Wars, The Lion King, Hunt for the Red October, Patriot Games, and Clear and Present Danger as the same character in all three of those.
And
movies.
the ambulance.
Dude,
I need to see Ambulance.
Dude, the ambulance kind of scared me as a kid.
Me too. But here's the thing. I never saw it, but they used to play the commercial on Showtime all the time. And every time it would come on, like it would creep me out. And I was like, oh man, those are supposed to be safe. And not in this movie.
Those vehicles are
Really?
supposed to be safe.
I just watched in a movie
Matt,
called
you're cutting out.
Blood
Matt, we're losing you, bro.
You're actually
You
frozen right
froze.
now. You're frozen in
Yeah.
time.
This is great. Do we want to just do the rest?
Yeah.
Like Matt's completely frozen on here.
I love this.
Matt-
I'm keeping
Matt
it
can
in.
make the episode. Oh, there we go.
Yeah, I lost both of you guys right there, and I could just hear you laughing.
Oh yeah, that was great, man. That was awesome.
Let me just finish this off real quick. We're almost there.
Please.
Older Scotty Smalls, Arliss Howard, best known probably for Full Metal Jacket, previous episode Time Traveler's Wife, and Jurassic Park: The Lost World.
He was in a Lost World.
Yeah.
Yeah, he gets eaten by the cheaper. I think right before they fall off the in the van or the RV or whatever.
Yeah.
He's the dude that gets like eaten before that happens. I think.
Really?
No,
I'm wrong. I'm wrong. I
yeah.
think he's actually part of the hunting crew.
He is 100%.
Who is he in the hunting crew?
One
Crew
of the
number
hunters.
3.
Where does he
is,
get
yeah.
killed?
In the grass, maybe.
I was gonna say, yeah, I think his death might be in the cornfield
Maybe we need to cover that episode
or whatever it
or
is.
the movie for the podcast.
Hey, I would like to do 2 and 3 in general.
You guys want to talk about Blood Tide?
What's
What's
that?
that?
What I just talked about before broke up.
Oh, I know you cut out. That's why we had this is
Yeah.
news to us.
Oh man. Okay, so I just watched James Earl Jones in this movie called Blood Tide,
Okay.
and it was like this kind of like it's just like this underwater monster movie kind of.
Yeah.
And dude, James Earl Jones like made this movie for me. It was awesome.
Oh yeah, you did
Like-
talk about this with the watermelon.
Yeah, where he punches the watermelon.
Oh yeah, you showed us that clip. It's amazing.
Yeah, because it was the most ridiculous thing. I didn't understand it, but you just instead of using a knife to cut a watermelon, he punches it to smithereens and eats it. I don't know, but if I ever meet him, I want to ask him like, "Hey, was that your idea to do that?
Hey,
Or
was that really
script?"
was that really you doing the stunt in that scene?
Yeah, or was it a stunt arm? Like his body just limp and there's an arm behind it, like. But no, it was like it's an okay movie, but it was like totally. It bumped it up like a 1.5 stars just because he does such a good job in it.
Oh, there's just because the watermelon scene it got bumped
Right.
up a star.
Dude, it was sheer strength, man. I've never seen anything like it.
It's incredible. That clip was awesome. Real quick, let me finish. Arliss, he was an InGen CEO. He gets fed to the baby T-Rex at the end of the movie.
Got
I
it.
think on the boat.
Yep, I got you.
Oh,
Yeah. Arliss
Chris, you know
Howard.
what who he's talking about?
He's got like
Yeah,
really,
he's like the
Yeah,
main
the round-
like villain in that movie.
Brown
he's got like
glasses,
an
yeah.
accent in the movie if I remember
He looks
correctly.
Yeah.
way.
He's
looks
the one who's
way
taking over-
different.
He's the one who's taking over Engine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh wow.
Yeah, he looks way different because I'm looking at a picture right now. He looks way different than he does in Sandlot and also Full Metal Jacket. So
Okay.
Yeah.
Hey, do you
Wow.
think the cut was kind of goofy at the end of this movie when it showed them like as adults and like he was cheering for Benny and it just cut to Benny and like it wasn't like even a build up that you knew it was Benny and then Benny was just looking up at him. And
yeah,
else laugh at that?
they kind of don't
It was
like.
okay.
Yeah, they kind of don't like really explain that it's Benny, right? It's just kind of like
That's how I kind of thought it was. Like I knew it was Benny because I've seen this movie a million times.
Yeah.
But like he's just like clapping and it just cuts to the Benny. He's like,
oh really?
staring up.
I think it's pretty obvious.
Well, yeah,
think so?
I think
His name, like the back of his jersey said Rodriguez on it, doesn't it?
Oh, yeah, I don't know how to read, so I didn't notice that.
And I'm a moron. So actually, you're right. It should have been easy to pick up. It's not a mystery. It's not an M. Night Shyamalan movie. At the end. We're like, oh, okay.
It's not like the guy
beginning of the movie.
It's not like he's looking out in the field and he's been casting this game the entire time, and then he looks off to the right, and then like Benny's the guy who's serving hot dogs, and he's on the staircase, and he's like, hey Benny. He's like, Benny serves hot dogs at baseball games now, and he's like,
we lost track of Benny
up.
at the end of the summer, and then it cuts to the end of the movie, and then he's serving hot dogs.
Benny's a shirt gun loader. Or a t-shirt, a shirt gun, yeah. Like Sandlot.
All right, so let's go ahead and bust into this movie. I feel like we should just go over all the iconic scenes in this movie because it is like chock full of like that's memorable.
Yes.
That's memorable. Like it's insane.
Very, very iconic movie.
Do you feel like
good word usage?
Thank you. Do you think this movie borrows at all from Stand By Me, or are we just getting that? Okay,
I'm gonna say yeah.
I think it does.
Kind of does. I mean, even from the beginning itself, it's like, oh, this is basically just Stand By Me. Because I guess I'll wait for the podcast, but does it cut to Richard Dreyfuss? It doesn't show him until the very end of the movie, right?
No, it shows him at the beginning.
I think it shows him in the beginning.
Oh, it shows him in the beginning. Okay.
Yeah, because it shows him he's like has that newspaper.
No, yeah, and he's writing his book, isn't he?
Yeah.
No, at the
this
end,
is how you're right.
At the end of these, writing the book.
No, because doesn't the movie start?
In the beginning, he's in a Jeep, and he's got the newspaper sitting next to him. And he's in that field, and he sees those kids go by on their bikes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and it was the summer of the biggest pickle I ever got in.
We'll save this discussion for another time, maybe.
Okay. Or we could just watch the movie sometime and talk about it.
Yeah, maybe.
On or off air. So the movie is basically about how old are these kids roughly? I don't even know if they actually even say.
24.
24. It's about
yeah. It was the year of my 24th youth. I was living with my parents.
I would say they're probably like 5th or 6th grade, I would assume.
Yeah, so maybe like somewhere between like 9 and 12, maybe.
Yeah, something like that.
Dude, that's not. I'm gonna pause for a minute, but that's not a bad idea for like a story about millennials, where they all live with their parents and they get together to do like the Sandlot game, and they're like, it's the one good thing we're gonna do, and they're all 24 years old.
Well, they should just. I mean, yeah, maybe they'll make another sequel with the same cast at some point.
Yeah, they're in their 30s and they're like, we can't find good jobs, but we can beat the other team, the other rich baseball team.
And it's just, their like lives are like in shambles, but they record this one game.
Yeah. It's gonna change everything.
Already making me very sad.
It is very deep. Yeah. Moving on. So this happy movie is about a kid who moves to a new town, and I guess they said that he moves to a new town 2 weeks before summer is about to hit.
I think it's already into summer at this point.
I think he says like he's only got a couple. I thought he said he only has a couple weeks. And he's like,
he said 2 weeks before summer hit. He's like, it's not enough time to make friends before summer.
Gotcha. Yeah. Okay.
So he sees some kids playing baseball and he wants to participate as well. And his stepfather, Denis Leary, is kind of like he plays the role of like the stereotypical stern father. Okay. Like it's weird because I feel like they get to the point where like they might make Denis Leary a bad guy in this. You know what I mean?
He's gonna be up there on the roof with him, and he's like, here, let me cut you a deal.
What are you talking about?
Judgment Night reference. Oh man,
that's actually really good.
Dad, I mean, Larry, let me cut you a
baseball.
deal.
I'll get you 2 Babe Ruth baseball.
So he's like asking him like, hey, can you go ahead and teach me ball? They don't really have a tight relationship, and honestly, throughout the movie, they don't really have a tight one at all until the very end, and you feel like it's gotten a little bit better, but it's not like 100%.
Yeah, I actually didn't catch that. He keeps referring to him as Bill and then Dad, and then another time he's like, Dad, I mean Bill. I didn't realize it keeps flip flopping back and forth.
It's like Missy and Mom and Bill and Ted.
Oh
like,
yeah.
Hey Mom, Missy, I mean Mom.
I mean Missy.
So yeah, he's kind of like this loner, and he wants to learn how to play baseball so he can join these kids. And actually, I have some trivia questions for this game or for this episode. So I only got 3, so I don't want you to think I have too many questions. How many kids are on the team for the Sandlot?
9.
It's 8 at first, and then it becomes 9.
Yeah,
It's 9. Yeah, 9. So it was an easy question. They get tougher, I promise.
Yeah, he talks about it in the narration of the movie.
Just keep paying attention.
I think it'd be a full game if they have 9.
Yeah.
Full team if they have 9.
There is a kid on the team who's Benny, who is extreme. Like Benny's like the kid that like everybody wants to be friends with, and everybody wants to be because he's got confidence. He's a nice guy. So he asks this loner kid, like, "Hey, come play with us." He gives him a glove, gives him a hat.
Come play with
Super
us,
nice
Scotty.
guy.
Forever and ever.
Small Z forever until nighttime when our parents come in.
Yeah. I gotta go to sleep.
Forever and forever. That's stupid. So he starts playing baseball with them, and the kids are kind of tough to let everybody in, or just to let him in. They seem like they got kind of a wall up. But as time progresses, they let him become part of the team. And it's weird because I feel like this movie has like 3 different acts. You got your first act where it's about like this kid who's alone and he just wants to fit in somewhere. And then we start the second act is when the kid starts to get good at baseball and he becomes friends with them.
Adventure.
And then the third act
in summer, and then third act is
and then the third act is like this larger than life, has nothing to do with baseball. It's like a larger than life adventure that the kids go on with this dog.
Yeah.
So it's like 3 separate movies, it feels like. Or like, I mean, it does it well.
Well,
like,
Yeah, and because I was watching it and I was like, there's really no it's a story driven movie. There's no plot until about like 2/3 through the movie. And you get kind of like these vignettes, like these short stories of these kids throughout summer.
Yeah.
Up until you get like the larger story with the beast.
Which keeps hinting at it throughout the movie, where they're playing baseball and the kid's unfamiliar with the territory. Like, oh, go get the ball, and they're like, no. So they build that up early, and then they keep also referring to the Babe Ruth like baseball, and then just the legend himself. So it's kind of like those two kind of intertwined until they ultimately meet at the end, pretty much.
Yeah, pretty much.
Because I feel like we could kind of break this down by like sequence. Like we could start it off with like we got our intro of the kids just meeting each other. And it's like talking about that, and then you go like the pool sequence,
but even jump before that
sequence.
Yeah, and I get what you're saying. Like there's these very like 15-minute memorable sequences that follow one after the next. I think it kind of starts off with when they're talking about the legend behind like the dog, and it cuts into like this old black and white film, and it's basically the story about how this dog was a junkyard dog. It killed a bunch of people. They can never find proof of it. And so now the dog has to be chained up for the rest of his life. And just for a little visual gag, Hanto, can you say forever like that? And I'll do the mouth thing. You ready? You're good.
Forever.
This is horrible. That was the best.
You're going too fast. You're going too fast.
I'll follow you. Go.
Forever.
Cool.
That was really good.
So, yeah, we practiced that off air, so we don't look stupid on air. But yeah, it's like good sequence after good sequence because you have like that. You have the pool scene where what's the glasses guy again? Squints. They go to the pool every summer, and there's a girl that works there, girl from Grindhouse.
Yep.
And what's her name again?
Wendy.
Yeah, Wendy. And
Peppercorn, right?
Peppercorn.
Wendy Peppercorn.
Wendy Peppercorn. Actually, that's a very like
memorable name.
It's Peppercorn. Yeah. Peppercorn.
She doesn't know what she's doing. She knows exactly what she's doing. Dude, direct lines from Cool Hand Luke.
Oh, is it really?
Yeah, you guys ever see Cool Hand Luke?
Yeah, dude. Yeah, okay.
When the girl's washing the car in front of them, and they're like, she doesn't know what she's doing. They're like, she knows exactly what she's doing.
That movie's awesome.
Yeah,
great. This is the first time I've watched this movie though, and realized when they're in the pool, and Smalls is like talking. He's like, I can't take it anymore. He's like, every summer. He's like oiling and rubbing. Right? Is that what he says? He's oiling.
Yeah, he's like lotioning and oiling and rubbing.
And he says it
and smiling.
And over. Yeah. He's like,
wow.
Did you guys see his teeth rattling in the movie?
No.
his like jaw is like this, like just like real fast rattling
when he's in the pool.
Yeah, I guess the pool that day was like the pool water was really cold, and it was like 54-degree day.
Jeez.
Like the whole summer was really, really hot, but except for that one day. And you can visibly see his jaw is like rattling.
Kids.
But
I can see that.
Jeez.
dude, I love it, man, because he says that line though, what you were saying, Chris, and he's like every summer of my adult life, she's up there on that chair.
So he gets out of the pool, pretends like he drowns, and then Wendy, the lifeguard, goes to help, and it turns out that he was lying, and he kisses her.
Yeah.
And he gets kicked out for life.
Forever.
You know what?
Yeah.
When I was younger, I thought when she waved to him after they got kicked out, it was like a cute wave, kind of like a charming wave. But watching it this time, it was kind of like a bye. Like that's how I kind of took it this way. But spoiler alert, they get married.
I say bye. I'll be with you forever.
Right?
Yeah.
And we have 9 kids.
Yeah.
That's what they should have done. It's like one day I'll have you forever. Forever. This movie's creepy.
Yeah, it is actually taking a different turn.
So the boys take off, and Squints is ecstatic about everything.
Hey, really quick,
can
we do a little like research here? How old Marley Shelton is? I think born. I saw her. She was born in 1974. Okay, so and she was like 19 when she made this.
She's probably 18. Yeah, she's probably about 18.
18, 19. How old was Squints?
He was
25.
Yeah, he's 25, dude. He's older than her. He was about 11, maybe 12.
Okay.
Yeah, okay.
Wow, you're like, oh, nice.
Well, good for him though. He bagged. Apparently, he bagged a high school girl, and they had like several kids. So
yeah.
He married a high school. He married a girl that's like 10 years his senior, and they had a bunch of kids. And
do you think when he was like 15, she was like, "I want marriage, I want kids"? She's like, "We've been together for 5 or 6 years now." And like,
what are you talking about?
Yeah. So other like memorable sequences. I mean, you got the 4th of July scene.
Yeah.
Cool scene.
Real
cool scene.
Like the fireworks. Yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna say. What? Sorry, go ahead, Chris.
No, I was gonna say, isn't the 4th of July scene like them playing baseball and the Ferris wheel, or not the Ferris wheel, but the thing?
No,
one night?
Yeah, I think those are two different scenes.
Okay.
But no, like I felt like this playing baseball underneath the fireworks was like kind of reminded. This was the one that reminded me of being a kid.
Yeah,
the most in this movie.
Totally.
Because it's just like those summer nights you were out like really late, and it's like. Like not to sound like we're getting old, but you could see better in the dark.
Oh my god!
Because your eyes like weren't deteriorating yet,
yeah.
and you just ran around all night, and it was.
What's wrong with your eyes?
What's not wrong with yours?
We compare notes.
Sandlot. We watched Sandlot 2, right? No, but like
I agree.
Like,
it's got a good sense
like,
out of the whole movie. That scene has probably the most like childlike feel to it, like sense of like not wonderment, but like amazement.
You're just feel free in the summertime. Basically, you're free to do whatever the heck you want.
But honestly, I think that's where the charm of this movie comes from, and why it has like the standing power that it has now, is because of scenes like this where it's like, you know what, even though it's a kids movie, like we don't need to make booger and fart jokes every second of the day, and like maybe we can have like a little bit of a charming scene here. And I don't know, it just has like, it's more nice. Of a mature like kids movie. It's like you comparing this to like the stuff we grew up with, like Little Giants,
the ambulance, and
open house,
and
no, I agree. Well, and actually that's funny you say it, because I think like one of the following scenes, I don't think it's before it, but like one of the following scenes is the roller coaster scene where it is, just gross out humor, which actually they do well, because it's not like disgusting. It's not like Problem Child 2 or anything.
Dude, in my notes, Problem Child 2. This is like,
why have we not done these movies? It blows my mind.
They're gross. But it's like, and it acts more like a PSA.
Yeah.
It does.
Like, yeah, these kids are chewing
The
or
effects.
using chewing tobacco.
The effects of chewing tobacco.
Yeah, and they go on a was it carousel?
It's I can't remember what exactly.
I don't know what's on it. Not a carousel. What is it?
Yeah.
It's like it looks like a carousel, but it goes in the
Spinny
air.
ride. I don't know.
We'll call it a tumbler.
Spinny ride.
But they make it like even before the story starts, he's like, man, we made one of the dumbest mistakes ever. And then after that, like we learned our lesson. So it is like a PSA. You're absolutely right on that.
Yeah.
Another sequence I was going to bring up, which is way before this, is like the other team that they fight.
Yeah.
And it kind of comes in and then you never hear from it again, which I think is kind of odd because it kind of plays off like
More
it's going to be like, like the Little Giants type thing where it's like, maybe they lose to him a couple times and then they finally like it just, but it never really goes that route.
Or it's like it's like a Karate Kid Cobra Kai. The Smalls goes to join their team. They make fun of him because he's so terrible at it. Joins the Sandlot crew, becomes awesome at baseball. Then they beat the shit out of them with their baseball bats. They're like,
oh my god,
beat the shit out of them.
I think you're talking about the Warriors.
They become the baseball furies. The Sandlot crew.
But I think this is where most of these movies go, though. I feel like as when we were kids, is like there's a lot of sports movies in those early '90s, and
or something.
Yeah, and it's always like the crew that has more money. They're always wearing black.
Was that Mighty Ducks? It happens in Mighty Ducks. They do it in heavyweights because the other crew has like it's like the rich boy or rich kid camp or whatever.
Yeah,
yeah. It's always like the rival. They call it like snobs versus slobs type deal.
Yeah, I've never heard of it before, but yeah, it's actually spot on. But that does bring us to like our third act and everything kind of changes up. And I know this is pretty stupid, but they're supposed to be kids, so they don't know any better. But they lose a baseball at the Sandlot and they lose it over the fence. And everyone's like, oh, we don't have a baseball. There's nothing we can do about it. But Smalls goes, hey, I have one at home. And he goes home and he gets his signed Baby Ruthie ball. And that belongs to his stepfather. Somebody says Baby Ruthie at one point in the thing.
No, they write it on there. I was gonna say, like when he does the replacement ball, he spells it Baby Ruthie, like it's RUTHE, and somebody calls him out for it. He's like,
is that what it was?
Yeah.
But no, what he basically do is he steals his stepfather's ball, planning to return it, obviously. But I think even after the first use of the ball, Smalls hits it over the fence, which we don't go into because of the dog. And this is like basically our third act. This entire third act is how do we get the ball back? And I'm talking sleepovers in the treehouse. I'm talking I never had a treehouse. This makes me jealous.
They don't sleep over in the treehouse.
There's like hangouts in the treehouse to monitor everything. Yeah.
Matt, you had a friend that had a treehouse, right?
We talked about this before. He had beans.
Why'd you bring this story up, man? This is such a.
He had a treehouse. It wasn't a treehouse. It was more of just like a
hollowed out.
What are the chunks of wood that you pick up with a forklift?
Pallets.
Yeah, pallets. It was like basically a pallet that was like nailed to the top of the tree in the middle of the tree. Sorry.
And when you climb to the top, he was like, "Hey, just watch your step real quick."
Yeah, and then I got up there and he had nothing up there except for like a can of open beans, and he just started crushing beans, man.
And then he asked he was like, "We're kind of like the Sandlot crew, right?"
Yeah.
Matt said he's like he watched the kid eat beans and Matt was like, "This is just like the movie."
This is exactly like the movie.
Actually, if we're talking about kids eating things out of cans in a treehouse, this is more like Jack. Starring Robin Williams.
He made me smell it, and I was like,
that's gross.
Fell out of the treehouse.
Yeah, fell off the pallet.
The one pallet.
Yeah.
So this whole last act is
true story, by the way.
Yeah, I'm sure it's not the last the bean story we'll hear. It's about them.
You never had tree beans before?
I've never. I'm not jealous. I'm not jealous at all.
There's a treehouse made of beans.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. He's like, these are my magic beans. And then he got like the kid ate beans until he passed out, and then I just went home.
He would just sleep up there, pass out, and eat.
Yeah, he ate the beans until he passed out, and I was like, okay, I guess we're not hanging out anymore. I just went home.
Well, no, you're like, now's my escape. Now I can finally leave.
I remember. Okay, I remember like
it's like the Invisible Man. He's chasing after you.
I remember he had one movie in his movie collection. Like no kidding. His family movie collection, they had one movie and it was Pumpkinhead.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Jeez.
I remember that. I remember he had Pumpkinhead in there. That was like a long time ago.
Here's a stupid joke. When he had the beans, right? Did
Yeah.
he take them out and he was like, bean? Like he offered you a bean, like Mr. Bean would? No?
And I'm like, no.
It was bad.
He handed it to me. I'm like, no.
No. Then he had the baseball. He's like, Baby Ruth. And you're like, ah.
Oh, like Goonies.
Baseball. Baseball. Yeah, we'll play. We can play baseball.
All right, I'm getting back to this movie. So the whole third act is them trying to get this baseball back before Denis Leary, aka the stepfather, gets home. Not the stepfather, the horror movie you're thinking of, but the stepfather in this movie was played by Denis Leary.
Yeah.
Yeah. So there's all these there's literally 20 minutes of
we'll
try to get it with a broomstick. We'll try to get it with this contraption that's like a vacuum connected to a is it a catcher's mask or a catcher's glove that's attached to something?
It looks like
that?
a catcher's mask.
Yeah.
That's what I thought too. What else? How else do they try to get it? They attach one of them to like a pulley system,
like a sling.
Too.
It's like a
Okay, so the first one's an erector set.
Oh
right? Yeah, with a pan. It's a erector set with a pan.
Yeah.
That doesn't work. Then they do the vacuum cleaner one, where it's 3 vacuum cleaners and a catcher's mask. And then they do a pulley system where one of the kids is attached to a bunch of ropes.
Yeah.
And he goes down. And then the final one is when they break out the entire erector set, and they've got like the little kind of car with like the scoop thing.
Dude, I laugh it happens twice in this movie, but both times they get the ball and Squints is on the lookout. He's like, "You got it." He's like, he's like,
just bring it back.
Bring it back. Dude,
Yeah,
it kills me every time.
I think my favorite is when one of the brothers, it's when the vacuum cleaners explode in the treehouse. And one of the brothers, I think it's Timmy, maybe. He's like coming down the stairs. It's like it reminds me exactly like The Burbs when Tom Hanks is coming out of that house, like all burnt. But he's coming down the steps. He's all covered in the dust, and he just like shakes himself off. He's like, I made a mistake here. I should have just, he's like, I can't remember what he says exactly, but it's like,
he's like, we made a mistake. He's like, I blame myself.
Yeah, he's like, I blame myself.
Yeah, the way he looks off, he's like, I blame myself.
He's like, I blame myself.
We've been going about this all wrong.
Yeah, it's awesome. It's great.
But it has a very strong ending because Benny decides, okay, you know what? I'm just gonna go get it. Well, this is actually, I'm sorry.
Yeah,
this is after his whole Babe Ruth dream, which I feel kind of feels out of place in this movie.
It's weird. It's like Shocker with the TV like static.
It is, dude.
It's like Babe Ruth as like Shocker, the static guy or whatever.
Shocker.
And then he comes out and gives him like some words of advice, and then goes back into the closet, and then still continues to have a conversation with Benny in the closet. It's like, does this dude just live in the closet? Maybe this isn't a dream or something.
Right?
Maybe it's Open House. Maybe it's inspiration from Open House.
Oh man, it scared me as a kid. So after Benny has this dream, he decides, hey, I have to go get this ball. So he puts on a new pair of gym shoes, jumps over the fence,
grabs
flyers. And
did you guys have PF flyers?
Didn't even know there were things in this movie.
No,
Okay.
I had LA Gear. Does that count?
I know.
Sure.
I imagine if this movie was made with our age group, we'd be like Reebok pumps.
Yeah.
They just make your shoe tighter, and that was it.
Dude, that would have been a stronger scene. I guess this movie takes place back in the day. But like, had he had the pumps, like I could see that if it was now, just being like, and he's getting ready,
And he jumps onto like 2 spikes on the shoes, and then it like launches them forward, like up in the air.
Yeah.
And explains why he can jump so high.
I like it. It.
And then he's got like the dog like by the neck with his Nintendo Power Glove. He's like, you know what I mean? Like,
back to the kids, he's like, it's so bad.
Then somebody jams a Game Genie in his bag. He's like, ah!
There's like electricity coming out of his hands.
James Earl Jones comes out with a Nintendo gun. So after Benny jumps over, he grabs the ball, jumps back over the fence. And this is probably my favorite part of the movie because as like the filmmakers or writers, whatever, You could easily have ended it here. He gets the ball, he saves the day. But this whole added on the dog jumping over the fence and chasing Benny all throughout town is such a cool addition to the scene.
Yeah.
It's awesome.
It's cool
it's
because
fun.
it's like the first time I guess he sees it briefly on the other side of the fence. But before that, you have the gigantic paw that's like taking the ball. You got the big like dog head. It's like really like exaggerated. But then like once Benny goes for it and then runs over the fence, like jumps over the fence, it's like, oh, it's just like a dog. Like it's a real dog. So it's like, it's cool because it's like the kids, since they can't see what's on the other side of the fence, it's almost like their imagination is like creating a monster when it's just in fact just like an ordinary dog.
Yeah,
which is really
cool. I was thinking the same thing too, because as kids, everything's so greatly exaggerated.
Yeah.
And I'm sure as he's telling that story too, because I mean, it's weird because so Smalls is telling the story from the beginning, but who's he telling the story to?
He's telling it to the crowd at the baseball game.
And there was a giant dog
just echoing throughout the park.
Well, because
I was gonna say, because he's just one of the hot dog stand guys again. He's like, yeah, I could have been something. He's like, it could have been a king, like Ash at the end of Army of Darkness.
Oh yeah,
I could have been a king.
Could have been a king.
Well, because at least at the end of Stand By Me, it turns out the reason he was telling this story is because he's like writing a book or his memoirs.
Mm-hmm.
Because it shows Dreyfus on the computer at the end. Because it ends with the who has best friends that age, or I can't remember what the line is. He's like, how old is anybody? But like he's telling the story to somebody, but I feel like he's just kind of like, this one's just kind of like you said, is he telling it to the crowd? Like it's kind of odd, actually, thinking about it.
He's ready to get fired today. He just tells this entire story during the baseball game.
I heard that dog story. It was kind of cute.
That's awesome.
So Benny gets chased by the dog. It's a fun scene. They're playing Wipeout. They're going everywhere with this dog. They're going through a screening of the Wolfman's playing. The dog's chasing them. The other group of kids is going with him too, but they can't keep up. So they all meet back at the Sandlot. And when they get to the Sandlot, Benny jumps over the fence again. Dog knocks it down. And then we realize this dog is totally just a chill dog. Yeah. And it's odd because as Smalls is sitting on the screen, the dog comes up to his face and it looks like it's split screen. It doesn't look like he's there with the dog.
Yeah, but he licks him, so it's not.
Yeah, so it's weird. Yeah. I don't know. It's very odd the way it looks. So
I was going to say, did you know, really quick then, since you brought that up, did you notice a couple times in the movie where like the image was like warped?
Yeah.
No.
I think I noticed this in the roller coaster or like the spinny ride scene.
Yeah.
Like the image was kind of like, I was having a hard time of figuring out if it was like either green screen or something, or if it was just like a camera fixed to the ride or what, but it was definitely like weird looking.
There was one time when he's on the porch and like the stuff behind him is like warped. And I think it's like they were using like Panasonic lenses, those like wide lenses, and then having to like crush it down to make it fit, or I don't know, but it's definitely something you notice throughout the movie. It's pretty prevalent in the beginning.
The same with even the fireworks. It's like tough because I wasn't sure if it was like superimposed imagery or if it was just like how they shot the scene or whatever.
Sorry, it looked like CinemaScope lenses. That's what I mean, where it was kind of like real wide. And
you can see it. I can't have an example, but I know what you're talking about. Yeah. But yeah, so after they realize that the dog is friendly, they knock on the guy's door. It ends up being James Earl Jones from Ambulance. And I do like this line right here because James Earl Jones is like, I can't remember what he said.
It was like,
oh,
you got your guys causing a ruckus the entire time.
Yeah, and he's like, if you want your ball back, you could have just knocked the nast. And then like, I like that.
I think Squint's like, or somebody hits. It's like, we should have done that,
Right. And that's what I like about it, because from an adult perspective, you're like, yeah, you should knock on the door and ask for the ball back. And so I think that's a good line. But he invites Benny and Smalls in, and you pretty much find out that James Earl Jones used to play baseball before he went blind.
Mm-hmm.
He knows Babe Ruth. He gives away this $1 million baseball to these kids.
Yeah, Murderer's Row. Like everybody from Murderer's Row's on it.
Is that what it's called?
Yeah, like the team that, because it's like it's Babe Ruth and it's
Lou Gehrig.
it's like the 27 Yankees, I think.
Okay.
So I'm gonna look this up.
Yeah,
Okay.
I'm looking right now.
I've
I
never
don't
heard
know
that
Babe.
name before, but I know,
No.
but I know like Babe Ruth and Lou Gehrig
Yeah.
and Alan
1920
Sorkin.
1927, widely considered to be the greatest baseball team in MLB history. Murderers Row is what it was called.
Okay. But yeah, James Earl Jones just gives him the ball, and he's like, "Hey, you can have this ball as long as you come talk to me for once a week about baseball."
That's a pretty good deal.
That's a good deal.
Yeah, and he says
then-
no.
He says, "No, I just want our ball." And
Sir, I just want our ball back.
Yeah. I don't want to spend time talking to you. I just want my ball back.
so they say, "No, we don't want that ball. We want our ball." And you know what? I'm taking these can of beans too. And like, and then he like looks at him as he's like eating the beans, and it's running down. And he's like, "I'll be in my treehouse. Come on, Matt." And he's like,
My
Grab
my pallet tree house.
"Grab Pumpkinhead. We're going to the treehouse."
Dude, I
Carbonated
wonder. I don't.
beans. That's
I couldn't
gross.
tell you what the kid's name was, but now I'm wondering, like, what if he's listening to the podcast? Like, what he's like a huge fan of this podcast, and then he realizes he's like, hey, that's me. That was me when I was a child.
He
You
had
know,
you.
and then-
He had you on the list. Had crossed it off at one point, and then wrote the name down on.
Yeah, there you go.
Every time Matt brings it back up.
The list. Yeah.
So, and then, you ready for this? Denis Leary has the audacity that when Smalls comes home with this brand new ball, he's like, "You're grounded for a week." And it's like, you just brought him like the coolest thing ever of like baseball history, and he's grounded for a week. Which
Yeah, but you gotta ground him.
I understand.
Yeah.
But then the movie kind of plays out where they're like, you hear the narrator Smalls talk about, "We had plenty of summers together, but that was the
Yeah.
greatest one." And then he kind of like, and then in another Stand By Me fashion,
Yeah.
it cuts to like a kid, he disappears, and you find out what happened to him. Cut to another kid, and it's cool the way they do it. Like they throw a baseball to one another, they get it, they hear their story, they throw it, they disappear. And then it pretty much
like that one kid is like the River Phoenix. He enjoyed the '60s and nobody ever heard from him ever again.
Yeah, I love
Right?
that.
yeah. But if you honestly think about it, I mean, just to compare it to Stand By Me again, Smalls is like who's the main kid in
Will Wheaton.
yeah, and then Benny is kind of like the
Walking Phoenix or River Phoenix.
River Phoenix.
they're very similar in that aspect.
Yeah.
But yeah, it pretty much cuts to Smalls, who is a baseball announcer. Benny steals home, wins the game, looks up at the window, and they give each other a thumbs up.
Yeah.
And that's Sandlot.
Yeah, we have
1993.
the three baseballs is our final shot. The three baseballs on the mantle.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
it's
yeah.
the fake Babe Ruth one, the real Babe Ruth one, and the Murderer's Row.
That's pretty good.
Oh, I didn't even see the
Yeah.
fake one that was on there. That's cool. That's pretty
Yeah.
cool. Okay, I like that even better now. So that is Sandlot, 1993. So this has on Rotten Tomatoes, I think I said it has a 63%. Yes, it has a 63%. I give it a 75. I think it's a really good movie. If I had to like rank my kid movies like from what I grew up with, that might be like bottom tier for me. That might be like 9 or 10, but I still really like it. So I would probably say 75.
I'd be interested to see in this list of yours, Chris.
Yeah, as I said it, I realized it might be a little higher. So I'm going to go with an 80%.
That's
I'm
even
sticking
more
with-
appropriate.
80% for Sandlot 1993. I think it's got a great heart. It's never boring. I think it's got very memorable scenes. I think they hired really good actors that are memorable. It's not just a bunch of throwaway kids. Like I like everybody they picked to be in this movie. So yeah, 80% for me. Hanto, what do you got?
Probably 80 as well.
80.
Yeah, great chemistry between all the kids. Everyone kind of, picks it up and carries their own weight throughout. It's a classic for sure. I've seen this movie a lot of times, and probably will continue to watch it over and over again over the years. It's just, I don't know. I think just it's a movie that I grew up with. I actually, cherish it, and yeah, it's 80%.
Okay. What about you, Matt?
I'm gonna go with a 90% on this. I really, really like this movie, and there's not many classic movies that we grew up with when we were kids that turn into classics now. And there's nothing negative I could say about this movie. So it's got a high score for me. And I think one of the great things about it is it doesn't try to teach you any lessons at the end of the movie. It doesn't try to teach you like teamwork and
Don't steal
all that
your,
bullshit.
Don't steal your stepdad's shit.
Yeah,
That's-
don't be. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And
But I
don't
feel
tell
like
your
he
life
should already
story
do
in
that.
front of a sold out baseball crowd.
Yeah, or you'll lose your job. And I think like I just think it has like a really good heart to it, and it's just it's just a really good movie. There's nothing bad about it.
Yeah,
I think that's a good point you just made was like, yeah, there's really nothing I could be like, oh, I didn't like this, or I wish I would have done this.
Yeah,
Like, it's a
But
solid movie.
I feel like too, it's like you don't have to be a sports head to enjoy the movie. You know, it's
Absolutely,
like
yeah. I hate baseball. I don't like baseball whatsoever. But
I'm not a big
Really?
baseball fan. Yeah. What about you?
I like it a
Chris?
little bit. I'm not huge on it. I mean, growing up, I was huge on baseball. But yeah, I'm not huge on it anymore. But yeah, like you said, it's for all audiences. This isn't just
Absolutely. It's just
Yeah.
about being a kid and enjoying childhood.
Yeah.
that's pretty much it. I had no more trivia questions for it. The only other trivia question I had, which I don't even think is that good, I
You
guess
only asked one. You had three. You only asked one.
Of these,
I had
these
3.
these three brain stoppers.
The second one's not good, so I'm not even going to ask it because it's very obvious.
What is it? Just ask it. Just
Okay, who ended up playing in the majors at the end? Oh, maybe this is a good one.
Benny.
Benny, yeah.
What?
Cool. I didn't think that was going to stump anybody, but here we are. John Sandlot.
The dog.
Was it? Yeah, I was gonna say, wasn't the dog?
The
James
only
Earl
other
Jones
thing
came back.
Retirement.
how long did this film take to shoot?
Oh,
How many days?
I do know those.
Yeah. Oh, do you? Okay.
Yeah, I do know those.
Hanso, what do you got? Yeah, it's just pick a random number, 1 through 700.
Oh wow! So, I'm curious. 700 maybe.
Mm,
What
Was it,
movie is that?
Was it 30 days?
not bad. 42 days.
42
So
days, yeah,
you're in
okay.
the ballpark. Yeah. So that is Sandlot from 1993. We are going to continue our summer break month in June. And I think our next movie, I feel like to space it out, I think we should just jump into Lost Boys. Are we doing Lost
Yeah.
Boys?
I think
I
that's
guess we're
happening.
doing Lost Boys.
This is a long time coming. We've been talking about doing this for like 4 or 5 years at this point.
I
Yeah.
think ever since we saw the Kiefer Sutherland at Whorehound.
This is true. Yep. So
Yep.
join us as we talk about Lost Boys, The Tribe, the sequel to the original Lost Boys. That'll be our next episode.
Or the other sequel. I can't remember.
The
what it is.
Thirst is Thirst in the title. I feel like.
Maybe. It probably is.
But yeah, and so we'll get to it. So yeah, we're gonna do the Kiefer Sutherland, Corey Haim, Jason Patrick vehicle Lost Boys. I think it's all of our favorites. I'm sure we have a lot to talk about on this movie.
Yeah.
I hope. But if you have any requests for any future months, please let us know. You can hit us up on Facebook or you can email us at
CinemaCultPodcast@gmail.com.
And just a reminder, we are taking July off just for vacations and just to kind of get a little breather. So don't look for any new episodes in July. We'll be back in
Maybe we'll
August.
post some. We'll figure out a theme. Maybe post some older episodes.
Yeah,
Yeah, there you
kind
go.
of good in that thing. But thank you so much for listening. We love doing it. We hope you love listening to it. I'm Chris.
I'm Matt.
I'm Honto.
And we'll catch you next time.
Oh, man.
I'm trying to think. I don't know what I was going to say. Hold on just a second. I'm sorry.
Cut number 2.
I'm sorry. That one's...
I'm so disappointed.
My connection's like bluey this evening. I don't know why.
Might be just. I mean, it's internet time for everybody at the apartment complex.
Internet time. That's I feel like. Sounds like if like your kids, your 21st century kids.
Yeah.
Internet time.
Ringing the cowbell. Ding 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 ding.
Napster and
Sorry
Counter
about that.
Strike.
What was it? Napster and what?
Counter Strike.
Oh, Counter Strike. Two specific things for the 2000s.
Yeah.
Two very specific.
Us kids grew up with AOL minutes time. All right, I'm done.
Okay. You ready?
Yeah.
All right. 3, 2. Hey, I was going to say real quick, by the way, if that doesn't work when Matt froze, I feel like I got really whiny there for a second.
I'll figure it out.
You ruined it. If it sounds whiny, please see me. I hate looking like a bitch.
I'll figure
on
it
this.
out. Yeah.
All right. 3,
Jack it
2,
up. Jack it
1.
up so it's whinier.
Welcome back to CinemaCult.
I'm gonna zoom in really close to your face, like, frozen. Yeah, cut it.
You froze it. Hante's like
And then we'll
Hante
use your,
Saturday DJ mix. Like,
yeah, we'll use your blue color that you use on your computer screen to flash
yeah.
the screen.
Like cuts to Hani. He's like, oh, that was Benny. Oh, that was Benny. Oh, it was. Oh, it was.
For the beginning of the movie? From the beginning of the
From the
movie?
beginning of the movie. And it gets the Maddie still froze.